Raj, can you tell me about living values?
Living Values started probably around about 1996. It's been around for quite a long time. And in early 2000, it became a Swiss foundation and has activities in 42 countries currently around the world. It's an organisation set up basically to extend the concept of values into the world. It engages individuals, it engages very much in the education field in schools and through workshops, businesses and people who are just generally interested in trying to explore the concept of values in themselves. See, what happens is we believe the values are actually inside of us and that we do know the difference between right and wrong and honesty and dishonesty or respect or disrespect. And it's really a matter of how much we want to live in those values in our lives and to what degree. And so when the programs were created for Living Values, we have a large number of activities that can be used in a group environment. And those values are all present in the activities. And gradually, as you do the activities, which are usually a lot of fun, you become aware of the values. Not only in the activities, you become aware of the values in yourself. You understand what happiness means and when you're not happy and when you are happy, and whether your happiness depends on your circumstance or your relationship or your car or whatever you have in your life.
So your program is related with these values?
Yes, one of the difficulties we've found is that it works really well in workshops and it works really well when you have qualified trainers who are able to deliver the workshops. But the problem that we found is that obviously we can't get enough trainers in the world to impact people in the world, in the various countries, and also in communities. So what we've been looking at is whether we could design a program that would actually appeal to, let's say, an individual or a family situation, maybe where you've got teenagers that don't really get on with the parents, and also like in communities where you've got jealousies and you've got petty grievances, you know. And so we decided to create a program that would be a standalone program that you could do at home with your wife, for example, or with your wife's relatives. Or you could do it in a school situation with a group of students, or, you know, young students or older students. And so the program needed to be something that you could tangibly grasp and integrate within yourself and then take out to the wider community or your friends. And so we created this 3-level program. And the first level is self-reflection, which is where you get the opportunity to sort of feel into the values yourself. And then it moves on from there over a 12-week period. This is 12 weeks, right? And then the second one would be where you start to bring a few friends together or family, and then you have the opportunity to engage with them in a group situation. And then the third aspect is really a full-on training, let's say in the position of a facilitator, where you could really then begin to deliver in a professional manner with complete confidence. And so there's 3 levels, and the 3 levels just works perfectly. And so that's what we've done. We called it a distance facilitator training program.
How do you do that? I mean, how can you reach the people that far away from you with this program?
Well, it's going to take time, obviously, because people have to want to find out about it. But we do get a lot of people, like educators, people who are already working in this sort of environment, helping others, and have a real passion and a desire to help others. And we get a lot of hits on our website, for example, but it's always people wanting to learn, how can I do this for myself? How can I get to a workshop? And maybe if you're living a long way away from where the trainers are, you can't actually attend the workshop. So this program's delivered to you over the internet. So we make everything available electronically. It's a package that we just send to everybody, and they basically engage it in that 12-week period. The upside is that it's a concentrated immersion program, and that does require a commitment to participate.
You said that this program is running online. So is there somebody that will help the participant?
Yeah, what we've done is we've created a system whereby we provide you right at the beginning with a coach who will take you through the program. So if you have any difficulties, all you need to do is send them an email and say, what do? I don't understand this, and they'll help you. And you have that person for the whole 12 weeks, right through to the end, and the same person will be evaluating your progress.
Okay, so the mentor will always be ready to help the participant.
Well,
Yeah.
that's correct, yeah.
So how can I tell others about this program?
Well, you can, but what we really want you to understand is that it's a self-development program. So when I say self-development, I mean inside the self. You can't really teach values to anybody. It's something that you have to find in yourself, and it's most important that you find them first. So once you have it, and once you've explored that, then you can go on and help others.
Okay, so you are trying to say that we have to feel it first and then tell others.
That's exactly right. You have to feel it first, and that's how the program is structured.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
thank you. You were talking about 3 steps. Can you tell me about the first step?
Yes, the first step is self-reflection, and that's exactly what it is. It's really about discovering yourself, and through a series of questions that are related to each individual value, when we ask ourselves those questions and answer them honestly and in our integrity, we start to realize that actually maybe some of my behavior is found in those questions, and it comes to the surface, and they're not things that you would normally think about, and you kind of gloss them over. And so when they come up, it brings a point of awareness to you as to how you are and who you are and how you behave in your relationships with yourself, with, let's say, your wife or family, your children, how you relate to people at work, and also with your environment. Are you respectful to your environment? Do you take care of things? So it's an in-depth thing. And what happens is that we have 12 values, so maybe 6 or 7 questions for each value, and the values change every week over 12 weeks. So each week we have a separate value, and then we engage that value for the period of a week, and at the end of the week we change to the next value. So during the course of the week you keep referring back to how respectful am I this week, or how peaceful am I this week in my work and my play, and gradually you start to really unfurl an understanding about the way you behave.
So we reflect back with those questions that will be sending to us.
Yeah, you're actually reflecting back to yourself as to how you behave, and that's the key to the whole program. And that's really important, that you really get a good feeling about the values and about how it works.
So is there any right or wrong answer about that question?
Absolutely not. The only right or wrong aspect of it would be how honest you are when you answer the question yourself, right? So if you're not telling the truth when you answer the question, then clearly that's wrong. But there's no right or wrong answer or at any particular level, and it's only about how right it is to you.
So does the mentor will do something with this answer?
Good question. He won't do anything with the answers, but he will look at the answers just to see if you're finding yourself in those answers to the depth that you want to go. I mean, you can skim the surface, or you can go deeper inside and say, oh, just a minute, that's not really true. I need to think about that some more.
So what you're saying is, if I don't get it, I cannot tell anyone else.
Well, that's really about the truth of it, and it's like anything else we do in life. If you don't know how to cook an omelette, you can't show anyone else how to do it. If you don't explore your own values first, and come to some understanding in that, you can't really expect anyone else to be able to understand when you tell them how to do that. Make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. And that's how it is.
What do I do in the second level?
The second level is about study groups, and really the purpose here is to give you an opportunity to have a facilitation role. And so what we recommend is that you maybe go out and see if you can find maybe 4 to 6 people who are friends. You can use family or colleagues from work, and have them come and join you for one evening a week for sort of 12 weeks. And what they will do is they'll undergo or undertake the same sort of process as you are and join you in it. It's really a lot of fun, especially you get together. I've run a lot of workshops and a lot of study groups rather, and they've just been fantastic. And so what you do is you come together, you do the same self-reflection all together as a group, and you write down your answers and so on, and then maybe you do some values activities relating to that activity of the week, that value of the week. And you'll find that it's a really good way of gaining confidence, and it's like almost the first step of becoming a facilitator. And you're not a teacher, so you're not expected to know anybody any more than the people who are with you, and so you're discovering and exploring individually but in a collective environment. So it's really a beautiful stepping stone to when you engage people in a full facilitation role in a group.
So this is the practice after we know the concept.
Exactly. And we usually recommend you start about 4 weeks after you've already done your first exploration. So you've already got a feel of it. And then from then on, you can bring some other people in who are in a nice, friendly environment. So you can then keep exploring with them. And it works really well. And we've had many study group facilitators say that's been one of the best experiences that they've had. And it's a lovely way to introduce other people into something. And you're doing it with them. It's not like you're special or you're in charge, but it's an engagement that you all do together.
So the setting depends on the leader, let's say.
Yeah, we don't call them a leader, we call them a coordinator, because they're like the host who invites people to join them, and they just play together.
Sure.
And then gradually, by the end of 12 weeks, you'll have all gained a huge amount of self-understanding, and also learn to really explore your behavior and how you treat one another. It's very exciting. It's a very lovely process. And it's a beautiful stepping stone to becoming a proper facilitator.
So does the mentor do something about this?
The mentor will be there to evaluate you, but we're going to get the participants in your group to evaluate you.
All right, the participant also
evaluate you,
right.
And then you're going to evaluate the participants.
Okay.
So then we get to understand what they think of how you've managed, and then we get to understand how you think they managed.
Wow.
And so we get a real understanding of what's going on.
All right.
Yeah, and it's neat, and you experience it all. And as we said before, there's no right or wrong. So it's a super and friendly environment.
It sounds really interesting.
No, it's a lot of fun, I can assure you.
How do I get the confidence to run the program?
Well, level 3 is about exactly that. So what we're going to do, it's called the Distance Facilitator training, and that's what that part is about. So in level 3, we'll provide you with all the materials that you need. You're going to have to do some reading, and you're going to have to do some exploring within yourself as to how you feel about your confidence. But basically all the materials that you need are provided, and we'll take you through the very best of steps that you would need, let's say, as a facilitator, which is what we call someone who is helping others find themselves, which is what you're doing, right? So your job is not, I'll repeat that, is not to be a teacher. You don't have to know more than anybody else. You just have to know how to allow other people to find a way to express themselves. And they need to find this in themselves. So that's your job. And that's what we help you with, and that's what we provide you with the information for. So at the end of the 12-week period, you'll have done that process, even while you are still doing your self-evaluation from self-reflection from the first program. You'll be finding yourself in the distance program. And it is a very nice feeling at the end to have you find the confidence within yourself. It's really a neat experience. And then you feel completely confident to go and talk to, let's say, a bunch of students at school, or you could talk to a family that's having problems. You can go and talk to a group that you could bring together, and maybe you go to your local village community and you talk to them, and you can share from the heart because you've been through every step of this process. And so level 3 is essentially just finding that full confidence in yourself. And there's quite a lot of information that people will ask you about living values. And what we need to do is to have an integrity aspect so that everything that all of our participants do all around the world all understand basically the same thing: our history, our website, where to find the resources to support your various projects. So if you decided you wanted to work with street children, for example, you'd be able to find the resources within the organisation. So you become completely au fait, or completely knowledgeable about everything that Living Values is all about.
Wow, it's really fantastic when I have all of those full support to do the program.
Yeah, it's there. And of course you've still got your mentor with you right the way through to the very end, who will be there to help you if you can't find something, or you want more understanding, or you want a greater truth, or whatever, and it'll all just come out for you. That's great, eh?
Yes,
Yeah,
great.
no, it's really good. It's a really great program, and it's been really well thought out, and taken us a lot of time, but it's just fantastic. So welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Kadir.